All right, one of America's best-selling authors is at it again. Jackie Collins has a brand new book out called American Star, a love story, aren't they all? And as a matter of fact, is already working on yet another book, and as well as scripting her latest TV miniseries. Doing it all, here's Miss Jackie Collins.
Wow. Hi, how are you?
Wow. Look at
How are
Jackie
you?
Collins. Wow. Look at Jackie Collins.
I have that same belt, and that's about it. But I love the jewelry. Yeah, your panther is like your signature, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I always love to have a panther.
What's significant?
It gives me power over Regis. Yeah, I always do have a guy called Nick.
That's right. I've been talking about the last 2 days.
Very astute of you.
Why is
Sometimes
that?
they're a minor
Because
character.
the Nick connotates something suave and a little bit of menace to
a lot of testosterone in Nick.
Nick Angel is the character in Hollywood, not Hollywood. I mean, he goes to Hollywood. He becomes the biggest superstar in America. But in American Star, he starts off as an abused kid, 16 years old in the Midwest. And he meets this girl. You know, we all have a Nick Angel in our lives, a guy that you meet when you're 16.
Let's hear about it, babe.
Yeah, I bet you've got,
Let's hear about
When I
it,
was
babe.
15, I had my first love one was when I was 15.
Right.
He was 19, and all the things first loves are made of. Tall and tan so deep, no winter's pale approached him.
He definitely wasn't Nick Angel.
he was a surfer.
He was a surfer.
Nick Angel is the bad boy in town, and he goes to live in the trailer park, and he meets the prettiest girl in town, and they have this wild affair when they're 16.
No, that wasn't my case.
And they're split asunder. And the whole book, you wonder if they're ever going to get back together.
He goes to Hollywood, she goes to New York.
He goes to Chicago first, and he works in a bar, and he kind of gets involved in scams and things, and then he goes to Hollywood. He wants to be an actor. He's kind of a combination James Dean, Luke Perry, a little bit of Richard Gere. We all know which bit that is.
Do you know ahead where these people are going, Jackie?
I never know. You know, I sit down with my pen, Regis, and it's so fascinating for me because I don't know where they're going. So when I take Nick Angel on a trip, and Lauren Roberts, who's the girl, the small-town girl he meets, and then this terrible thing happens to them. This is a love story. It's very different from any book I've ever written. It's very,
Love is the motivator, not sex in this one, huh?
Well, don't they go together sometimes?
When you're lucky.
When you're lucky, you're right, yeah.
And
It is
this is
a
in the name of
tender
another
love
one of your
story.
characters.
Right, lucky, yeah. It's a tender love story, and, well, it's not that tender, but it's tender for me. And it's kind of, like, the people that are reading it now, that have read it first, are going, oh, you have never written a book like this before, and they can't leave these characters alone, because they do identify with them so strongly, because it's...
They're more like we real people, in other words.
Well, you know, he does become the biggest superstar in America, and she becomes the hottest model in America.
Sounds like
it's a
us.
little different from you.
But you're on the cover of everything you do.
Well,
I
they
can't pick up a
start out
magazine without seeing you.
They start out as normal people, though, regular folks.
Yeah, they're very regular. In fact,
Yeah.
the first 200 pages there in this little town outside Kansas doing
And
all
did
the
you
things.
take a car ride, Jackie? So
I
that you would
did.
get...
Yeah, I took a trip across America, which was fascinating. I always wanted to do that. So I drove with some friends from New York to Los Angeles. And I kind of stopped in all these small towns. I wanted to capture that small town America.
Well, did you see any Nicks there?
Yes, I did.
Nicks are everywhere, aren't they? They're everywhere.
Yeah, I stayed in a few Bates motels. It was great. It was such a good time, I must say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What's it like when you finally finish writing a book? I mean, there must be a sense of relief or
like,
sorry.
It is like having a baby. Well, you wouldn't know about that, but you would. You don't want to leave the characters. You know, a lot of people today, they write, and they write on computers, and they write into machines, and I have to write in longhand, and I just love being with my characters. I love seeing Nick going from 16 to 35, which is what he does in the book, and taking him on that trip and not knowing what he's going to do next. And Lauren, who is kind of, she's not weak, but she's a woman who is kind of pushed into position by her parents and everything. And then as she grows, she comes to New York, you know, her parents are, well, I can't tell you what happens. You have to...
Well, now, if we're going to leave these people at the age of 35, shouldn't there be a sequel, if this, especially if this is going to be another
Well, that's what everybody's
monster
saying to me now. They're saying, you know, we read the book, we had to ration ourselves to a chapter a day because we don't want to finish it too quickly. Actually, it comes out today. Today's the first day.
in the bookstore.
And I'm signing books at B. Dalton on Fifth Avenue on Tuesday.
What time?
At 12:30 until 2:30. Yeah.
I think it's fascinating how, after writing like this about the Hollywood community, as you have for years now, how you are still one of the most beloved people within the Hollywood community.
Well,
how have you
that's
accomplished
because they
that?
don't read. they read Vanity Fair and they think this is it. You know, we've had our reading for the month. No, there are some wonderful people in Hollywood, and I have a lot of really close friends there. Really terrific people, and marriages that have gone on forever, and relationships that are great. I don't write about them, otherwise I wouldn't have friends there.
That's true.
I write about the people on the edge, like Regis, on the edge. Yes, hovering. You look great, incidentally. I'm so glad to see you so recovered.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Are you writing your next book already?
Tuesday on Live, movie critic Joel Siegel gives us an Academy Awards preview.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Gene Gleason in the Eyewitness Newsroom. Coming up on Eyewitness News at 11.